She said she went to meet him. And let me tell you how today went. Robinson is the best thing since sliced bread. In his home, she felt peace. She felt love. And she felt warmth. You swear to God, is she husband? But she wants to know if I will appear on a platform with the PNM leader while I am a PNM member, a PNM candidate. I wonder whose platform she want me to go on. I told you about trust, and there's something called values. When they wanted to put a doctor in the Senate, of all the doctors in Trinidad and Tobago, the only doctor they could have put in the Senate to represent doctors is a doctor who was publicly disgraced for having held himself out to be a specialist, put things behind his name when he wasn't so qualified. A foreign university had to order him to remove those letters behind his name because he was doing something wrong. He wasn't qualified. And even after that was known, Professor Bartholomew tell the whole world the man is misrepresenting himself. The UNC put him in the parliament as an exemplar and to be the voice of doctors. That is their value. As low as the level below a razor blade on the floor, and they will do anything to get into office. And when they get into office, they will also do anything. They will say anything. Imagine one of the things that I'm very proud of. While I admit PNM mistakes, there are PNM successes that we must champion. Because those successes change lives, change families, change communities. As I'm talking to you tonight, I'm sure that in this audience, there are lots of people from families whose only avenue out of your present circumstance, whatever it might be, is the investment in education in this country. It is the best investment this country makes. Whether it is primary school, secondary school, or university. And for those who are lucky like me to get a university education, we were among the few, the majority of you could not get to the corridors because government policy wasn't available to assist you. And you were there confined to your poverty and stagnation. So when a PNM government bring on board the University of Trinidad and Tobago, where today there are thousands of young people, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, wanting to bring their brain to work and to move up from poverty to middle class and to take their family with them. Kamala and her friends so believe that nothing that the PNM has done is good, and they will destroy it because it is fashionable to say so. So you know what she has said? In trying to please our detractors, she said she will invite the University of the West Indies to take over the University of Trinidad and Tobago. You know what that means? It means that she will stop dead in its tracks and kill the hopes of all those people for whom the University of Trinidad and Tobago is their singular and sole avenue of social mobility. Because as soon as UTT is absorbed into UWI, it becomes subject to the regional governments, because UWI is a regional institution. And I want to ask you, do you think that the government of Jamaica and Barbados and Dominica and Grenada will undertake to expand the number of places in Trinidad and Tobago and they have to pay some of it? And if the government of Trinidad and Tobago wants to invest more money and expand it, we have to get their permission. But Kamala has a degree already. She has her degrees already. So tonight, on behalf of all of you here in Dago Martin West, who are in the university or whose children will go there, we say no way, Kamala, no way. Because it is that kind of misguided policy that damages the future of our people. And if that wasn't bad enough, you had Tim Gopi Singh, colleague and friend of mine. We are university colleagues, we lived in the same hall. He jumped on the bandwagon and he so wants to condemn everything PNM that he decided that if they get into government, they will close down COSTAT. I wonder if Tim Gopi Singh has ever passed in front of COSTAT at any time of day and see the thousands of young people who come in and out purposefully trying to make a life for themselves and their families. And he wants to go into government with your vote to close that down. Okay, you're going to close it down, we know that. But what are you going to replace it with? Not a song. You will replace it with Manning must go, Manning must go. What are you going to replace the University of Trinidad and Tobago with? You're going to replace it with crazy Manning must go. We rise. You know, yeast rise in something called sourdough. Understand that? That sourdough that will rise will not be going into our oven. But I want you all to understand how government policy can change your lives. I was the first member of my family to have gone to high school. And as a result of government policy gave that opportunity to me, I was able to move from high school to university to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. That is how public policy changes lives. If you have some child in your house, it's not because I am brighter than that child. It may very well be that I had an opportunity which that child did not get. Do not vote for the reduction of opportunity in Trinidad and Tobago. You may live to regret it. When I was Minister of Housing, I would go out and drive through the communities to see where there is land that we could build houses on. Because I knew of the demand for housing. I know the role that housing plays in social upliftment. And I came through here, and that site across there had 3 or 4 government quarters. I gave instructions to find the authority and tell them to give it to us. And they cooperated, and we pulled them down, 4 families, and replaced them with that. That is PNM policy. We went out there in Victoria Keys, and we had a site. It wasn't big enough to maximize that site. We cut that hill, and we created the land that is now behind Movie Town, worth tens of millions of dollars in land over there. And we built those towers here. Kamala has said that they will not pursue a government housing policy. And if you don't believe her, look back at when they were in government before. They built no houses. So all of you who look to the public sector housing program for housing, put Kamala in office and kiss your housing dreams goodbye.